You ever see something so messed up it sticks in your brain even when you try to sleep? That's what happened when I came across the story of the Victorian doll that was buried and dug itself out. I know it sounds like some cheap horror movie setup, but I promise you, this story is a lot darker and way more real than anything you've seen on the big screen. Stick with me because once I tell you how it all went down, you'll never look at dolls the same way again. So picture this, small town, middle of nowhere, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody. One family decides to clean out their attic. They find an old trunk, the kind that looks like it's been sitting there since forever, covered in dust, creaking hinges just begging not to be opened. But of course, curiosity wins and they pry it open. Inside is this porcelain doll, Victorian style, glassy eyes, lace dress, cracked face like it's been smiling for too long. Creepy, right? But here's the kicker, it wasn't a family heirloom. Nobody remembered ever owning it. No one even knew how it got there. Already sketchy. They do what most people would probably do, they think, okay, trash it. Who wants some random old doll in their house? So they wrap it up, drive it out to this empty field behind the woods, dig a shallow hole and bury it. Simple as that. Gone forever. Or, at least that's what they thought. Now here's where things get disturbing. A few days later, the daughter of the family, the one who was helping clear out the attic, starts hearing scratching at her window. Every night, same thing. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Like nails on glass, just soft enough to make you question if you're dreaming. The first night she ignores it. The second night she gets up, looks out the window. Nothing. Third night, she decides to check the yard in the morning. Guess what she finds? Tiny footprints in the dirt. Not human-sized, not animal. Small. Delicate. Doll-sized. And they lead right back toward the field where they buried that thing. Now before I go further, let me ask you this. What would you do? If you're the daughter, are you running to tell your parents? Are you pretending it's all in your head? Or are you getting the hell out of that house? Drop a comment because I guarantee most of you would bounce and fast. But here's the thing, she didn't. She kept quiet. Maybe she didn't want to sound crazy. Maybe she thought it was some prank. But by the fourth night, when she looked out her window, the doll was standing right in the yard. Same cracked face. Same faded lace dress. Staring up at her. At this point she screams. Whole family comes running, but by the time they look out, there's nothing there. No doll. No footprints. Just silence. They try to calm her down, tell her it's stress, maybe school pressure, maybe she's been watching too many horror movies. But she knows what she saw. And you would too if you saw those glass eyes looking back at you. Couple nights later, things escalate. The dad is walking the dog near the woods, right past the field where they buried the doll. The dog starts going nuts, barking at this one patch of dirt. The dad shines his flashlight, and he swears the ground is disturbed, like something clawed its way out. And you already know what that means. That doll dug itself out of the ground. It wasn't buried anymore. Here's where it goes from creepy to downright terrifying. They try to track it down. They search the attic again, the basement, everywhere. Nothing. But weird stuff starts happening inside the house. Doors creaking open when no one's around. Whispers in the middle of the night. The little brother finds the doll's cracked porcelain hand under his bed. Just the hand. Like it broke off. And nobody can explain how it got there. The family finally decides enough is enough. They're calling in help. They contact this local historian, guy who's obsessed with Victorian-era artifacts. He takes one look at the hand and he goes pale. He says dolls like that weren't just toys. Some of them were used in mourning rituals. Like back in the Victorian era when kids died young, and they did a lot, parents sometimes had dolls made in their image. Same clothes, same hair, even their real teeth sometimes. Yeah, you heard me. Real teeth. And those dolls weren't just playthings. They were like vessels. They held grief. They held energy. Some people even believed they held the actual spirit of the child who died. So imagine this. What if the doll they found wasn't just some random antique? What if it was one of those mourning dolls, carrying a piece of somebody's soul? And what happens when you bury something like that? Does it rest, or does it dig its way back, desperate not to be forgotten? The historian warns them, don't destroy it, don't try to bury it again because if it's restless, you're only making it angrier. He tells them they need to seal it, contain it. So they try. They get a glass case, line it with salt, prayers written on slips of paper, every protective charm they can think of. They place the doll inside. For a while it works. The house goes quiet. No scratching. No footprints. Nothing. The daughter starts to sleep again. Everyone breathes easy. But you know this isn't a happy ending. Because a few weeks later, during a thunderstorm, lightning knocks out the power. When the lights come back, the glass case is shattered. Shards everywhere. The doll? Gone. And to this day no one knows where it went. Some say it's still out there wandering looking for another home. Maybe another attic. Maybe another family. Maybe yours. Now before you roll your eyes and say, yeah right, it's just a story, listen. These Victorian mourning dolls? They're real. You can literally find them in museums and private collections. And if you look close enough at the faces, at the way the eyes are set, at how the hair doesn't quite look synthetic, it's because it isn't. Those were made with real human parts. They carry history, trauma, energy. And if you believe even a little in spirits, then you have to ask yourself, do those dolls really rest? Or are they waiting for someone to remember them? So here's my question for you. If you found a doll like that in your attic, would you keep it? Would you bury it? Or would you run it straight to a museum and wash your hands of it forever? I want to know because the family in this story, they tried all three and look how it ended for them. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more true creepy stories like this. And don't forget to subscribe because trust me, I've got even darker tales to share that'll keep you up at night. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think that doll really dug itself out, or was it just the family's imagination feeding on fear? Either way, check your attics, check your basements, because sometimes the things we think are buried don't stay buried for long.